Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Look It Up Podcast. I'm Chip Ballmer, and with me, as always, is my co-host and football, Tony Gudo. You can find us on YouTube under the Look It Up Podcast and Facebook under his name, Tony Gudo. Now, we've been gone. We were gone last week. Sorry we missed y'all.
Yeah, we had a good vacation out there in Cancun, Mexico. The whole family, we enjoyed ourselves and made it back on Friday evening. Late Friday evening, but we made it back. Anyway, we're going to move on here. We're going to talk about several subjects today. At the end of we're going to cover a few subjects, but then at the last part of our thing, what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about the Saints' opponents. We're going to talk about each team. We're going to do 4 teams today. We'll do 4 teams the next few weeks until we get them all done. We're going to cover each team individually, look at what they've done player acquisition-wise, what they did in the draft, I guess, if it shows up, and what their strengths and weaknesses are, to give you an idea of what our opponents will look like when the season starts.
Yeah.
All right? So anyway, let's start off. We're going to look at today, just came out today, Kansas City reworked Mahomes' contract.
Patrick Mahomes.
They added some more years to his contract. He's going to be there till 2033, and it looks like his whole contract's going to be worth about $500 million. Seems like a lot of money. I don't know if that's maybe that's a typo, but it says $500 million. I've seen it in 3 different places, so I'm not sure how that's scheduled to be paid out. But if they're willing to pay him that kind of money, good luck with it, because he's coming off an injury, right?
Coming off an ACL tear, so.
Yeah, both MCL and ACL, I understand. It was both of them.
Maybe.
Right? I think it was. So, I don't know. I guess they know more than we know. So, anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the NBA. The NBA Finals.
NBA.
The
NBA Finals.
Knicks did good. They started off strong, won both games in San Antonio.
Game 1 and Game 2.
Surprised everybody, really. And then they played Monday night, and I had a hunch that San Antonio would come back. I made some money on that game. I took San Antonio.
Game 1 was Wednesday night. Was Game 1 in San Antonio, and New York won 105-95. Jalen Brunson came through with a couple clutch shots as always.
Yeah, they pretty much dominated that first game.
And then Friday night, they came and did pretty much the exact same thing, won 105-104 in San Antonio.
By
1 point.
Yep.
San Antonio had a chance for the last shot, and they missed. That's what gave the Knicks Game 2 win. But Monday night, they played Monday night, and Spurs took a game back in Madison Square Garden in New York.
So it started off strong. They got like a 12-point lead to begin the game, and that pretty much kept them in the lead.
So New York still leads 2-1. This is a best of 7, first to 4 wins.
Yeah,
the Spurs took Game 3 on the Knicks' home floor.
The Knicks should not lose tonight. They better not lose tonight.
It's a must-win for the Knicks.
It's a must-win because you can't go back to San Antonio.
But it's also a must-win for San Antonio because if you go down 3-1, it's not looking too good.
Yeah, but you're at home the next game. Right?
Yeah, you go back home.
Yeah,
so
you got a better. But they lost both games at home, so
you're right.
I don't know if that means anything, but anyway, I made some wagers today on the game for the night, so I'm gonna mention that. But if you wager on any games, what do? Only wager what you can afford to lose. Don't bet something that's going to hurt you or your family. Tonight, I like the Knicks. I'm not going to give the points. I'm taking the Knicks on the money line. That they're going to win straight up no matter what. I also like the over 216.5. This game could go into overtime. If it goes into overtime, it's definitely going to be over 216. And I do like, what's his name, Wemby? What they call it?
Wembanyama?
Yep, I like him to make 2+ threes. At least 2 threes. And if you do those 3 on a parlay, I did a 3-team parlay on that, $25 wins you $200. $25 wins you $200. Also made individual bet on the Knicks on the money line and on the over. So if you want to, take those wagers if you have time between now and the tip-off is probably 7:30.
Yeah, so like he said, Central. Game 4 is tonight in Madison Square Garden in New York. New York leads 2-1. They need a win tonight, 7:30 on ESPN.
No,
but I would like
ABC.
to say
Well, it might be on ESPN.
It's ESPN and ABC. So, but also I'd like to note that all 3 games have not gone. The differential has not been above 10 points at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty close the whole series so far.
The first game was bigger.
10 point. It was a 10-point game. It has not been higher than that.
The last 2 were pretty close.
Yeah.
Okay,
So So 7:30 tonight, game 4.
I'm gonna move over to the UFL. If anybody watched them, they're in the finals. They're in the playoffs. The playoffs was last weekend. The first game was the DC Defenders and the Orlando Storm. DC was 5-5, and Orlando was 8-2. But guess what? DC came back. Their quarterback came back. The reason they lost those 3 or 4 games in a row was because they lost their quarterback. He came back and they won the game 28-22. So they move on this week to the United Bowl. In the other playoff game, it was the Louisville Kings at the St. Louis Battlehawks, and the Louisville Kings won that game. They were both 6-4. They won 29-20. This weekend on Sunday, it will be the DC Defenders versus the Louisville Kings.
And it's in DC.
It's in DC. Yep, the game's in DC. It's the United Bowl, the first United Bowl ever. And it's Saturday at 2 p.m.
Second. Last year.
But they had a championship game, but it wasn't the United Bowl.
Oh,
they might
I
have
guess
went back
they
and
changed the
renamed
name to it?
They might have. It was a championship game, I think. But anyway, if you're interested in seeing it, it'll be on Fox on Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m.
Yep.
And that'll be the end of the season for
UFL.
the UFL. Okay, we're going to move on. One more thing. Let's talk about, before we get to NFL, let's talk about UFC.
UFC, I got a lot to talk.
Big fight this weekend.
Big fights this week. I got a lot to talk about. I'm excited for this one.
You've been excited for a while.
I've been excited for a while since they announced it. So, Sunday, not Saturday, Sunday night, June 14th, this Sunday night, they will be making one of the most historical sporting events of all time. They will be fighting on the south lawn of the White House. There will be 7 fights, no prelims, just a 7-fight card.
And that'll be on Paramount.
That will be on Paramount Plus.
Yep.
Now I want to go over the card. It starts at 7 p.m.
Sunday night
in DC, so 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The first fight of the night will be number 2 ranked in the featherweight division. Diego Lopez will go up against the 9th ranked featherweight in the world, Steve Garcia. Now this should be a good fight. I like my odds with Diego Lopez.
Yep.
Now a middleweight matchup that is a non-ranked bout. Bo Nickel coming off a knockout win. An American wrestler that went to Penn State, I believe. He will be fighting Kyle Dawkins in the middleweight division. He is also American. They're both American in the middleweight division. Now a lightweight bout between number 9 ranked in the world lightweight Mauricio Hufi from Brazil will fight an American number 13th ranked Michael Chandler. Now I like Hufi. He's a very nice knockout artist. So I'm going to take Mauricio Hufi in that fight. Then I'm excited for this one. A heavyweight bout. Big boys.
Big boys.
American Josh Hokett, number 5 ranked heavyweight in the world, will go up against number 9th ranked heavyweight in the world, Derek Lewis.
Oh yeah, I've seen Derek fight not too long ago.
Derek Lewis, most knockouts in UFC history.
Yep.
The Black Beast, he'll fight Josh Hokett Sunday night. That should be a good one. Then in the bantamweight division, 135, we will see number 3rd ranked bantamweight in the world, Sugar Sean O'Malley.
O'Malley. I like Sugar Sean.
He will fight Ayman Zahabi from Canada. That should be a good fight. And with the co-main event, I'm excited for this one. A heavyweight bout, which is for the interim title. because Tom Aspinall, the heavyweight champion, is still injured. So we will be fighting for an interim belt, and the winner of this should fight the winner of this should fight Tom Aspinall. Former middleweight champion, former light heavyweight champion, former kickboxing champion long time ago, Alex Pereira from Brazil will go up against the number 1 ranked heavyweight in the world, Cyril Gane from France. Now, this is a great matchup, and I love Alex Pereira, so I'm going to have to take Alex Pereira in this matchup. In the main event of the evening, on the White House lawn, Ilia Amatador Topuria will defend his lightweight title for the first time against the interim champion, Justin Gaethje, who beat Paddy Pimblett in January. So that's going to be the main event. Watch that on Paramount. I'm going to put, when I edit this video, I'm going to put up some pictures of the gloves, what they will be fighting with, because they're not going to be fighting with the regular gloves. So they'll be putting up, I'll put up these gloves right here. Those are the gloves they'll be fighting with. And yeah, that's about it.
And that's they're celebrating President Trump's
And
birthday.
they're celebrating President Trump's birthday and Flag Day.
And Flag Day, yeah. Flag Day will be on Monday, yep. Okay, well, looking forward to that. We'll probably be barbecuing and watching that game maybe on Sunday evening. That's my plan. We'll find out if that works out for the rest of the family that's going to be involved. All right, let's move on. We're going to, like I said earlier, we're going to move on to the NFL. We're going to look at the Saints schedule. The last 2 times we did it, we talked about what we thought was going to happen win and loss wise. And we both believe they're going to win 10 or 11 games between now and the end of the season. And of course, they start off with a pretty tough schedule. Start off with Detroit and Baltimore, 2 tough teams. But then the Raiders, they should beat the Raiders. That should be an easy game. And playing on Monday night, I think they'll beat the Falcons. So they should go 2-2, maybe 3-1 in those first few games. But what we're going to do is start today. We're going to look at the first 4 games, talk about those teams, and then next week we'll move on to the next 4, and the following week we do 4, the following week we do 4. By that time it'll be 16 games we'll look at, and then we move on to the SEC. College football will be kicking off. Camps will be kicking off pretty soon. We'll start talking about that. The NFL training camps, mini camps, all that's going to be over this week. I think 1 more team, maybe 2 more teams for next week, and then it's done. And then they all off. Most of them are off until late July or early August when the training camps begin.
And preseason.
In preseason, yeah. So anyway, let me start off. I'm going to start off with the Detroit Lions and talk about them. The Detroit Lions this year, they brought in a core of players of playmakers this year on offense. They revamped the highly physical defensive front. The key off-season addition here was bringing in Dolphins general manager Chris Greer to help the front office to reorganize everything and to make it tougher. Let's talk about their offense. Their offense, they got Jared Goff. He remains a steady anchor under center. He relies a lot on a loaded arsenal of receiver threats. Running backs, they have explosive Jamar Gibbs, who is expected to see a massive workload this year. Because they traded off one of their guys and went over to Houston, right? Yeah.
David Montgomery.
But they also brought in Isaiah Pacheco.
Yep,
From Kansas City. They brought him down from Kansas City, so I'm sure he's going to have something to say about that. And they have versatile weapon Sion Vaki. The receivers, the Lions possess one of the best pass-catching duos in the country in the NFL with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. Yeah, they're both good. They're both good receivers. Combined with them is Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta's got a great tight end. Now he's coming up. He's coming off an injury. He was hurt, so I'm not sure the deal was there. But I understand he's been at camp, so he's there. I'm not sure how much he's participated. The offensive line, the trenches are anchored by highly graded young guard Tate Ratledge, ensuring the offensive line remains at the top tier. On defense, they revamped the front 7 and the secondary. They added star edge Russian Adadian Hutchinson he came from where?
Who?
Hutchinson. No, he's been there, huh?
Hutchinson. He's been there.
Yeah, he's been there. He's the one who came from Michigan. He came from Michigan, yeah. The Lions hope the second round pick, Derek Moore, that's who they added, and veteran DJ Warman can create more pressure on the opposite side of Hutchinson. Linebackers, the linebacker room is their strength. They got Jack Campbell, who signed a massive extension alongside Derek Barnes and Malcolm Rodriguez. Secondary, the cornerback group is deep and competitive. They stand out with Kirby Joseph, highlights the safety unit, and the Lions have plenty of mix developing in talent and savvy veterans to lock down the opposing receivers. Let's look at their weakness. The weakness that they have this year, despite heavy investments, the interior defensive line remains an area of concern. The defensive line is not as good as they'd like it to be. The Lions are still seeking external rotational pieces to ease the pressure on Talik Williams. Of course, you can still sign my players. There's still players out there. But the problem is most of the players out there are up in age. That's so free agents, but they're up in age. Overall grade, General Manager Brad Holmes has quietly plugged holes, giving Detroit a legitimate chance to return to the playoffs and compete for the NFC North title in a dominant fashion. Detroit, the problem with Detroit, they're in a tough division. That's going to be tough. They got Detroit, Chicago, Green Bay, and Minnesota. So that's a tough division. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be as tough as the NFC East. It'll be just as tough as them. Okay, let's move on. Chao's going to cover the next opponent, the Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens. So the Ravens for the past few years, they have been a top tier AFC North contender in the AFC with a mix of youth and veterans. On offense, they will try to reload and continue their dynamic core.
They did change coaches.
Yes, they changed coaches to
Jesse Minter, I think it is, right?
Jesse
Minter. And Jesse Minter used to be the defensive coordinator there several years
Yeah,
back.
Jesse Minter
Yeah.
used to be the offensive coordinator.
Defensive, right?
Defensive coordinator
Okay.
a couple years back. Now offense they still rely on their franchise quarterback Lamar Jackson, two-time MVP, and backup Tyler Huntley. Running back Derrick Henry's still there, providing
Big load.
a big load and goal line dominance, backed up by Justice Hill and Rasheen Ali. At receiver, they have a very young core at receiver with Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman. They are the clear starters. With training camp, their battles defining the wide receiver 3 role between Devontae Walker, rookie Jacoby Lane, and Elijah Surratt. At tight end, Mark Andrews remains a primary target, though the offense will rely more heavily on blocking tight end Durham Smith after moving on from fullback Patrick Ricard. The offensive line features a revamped interior with projected starting guard John Simpson and rookie Vega Ioane expected to shore up protection for Lamar Jackson. Ronnie Stanley and Roger Rosengarten anchored the tackle spots.
That was some of their issue last year with protecting Lamar.
Yeah. The defense, they have a shift in pass rush and secondary. Defensive line, the defensive front remains formidable with Travis Jones and Calais Campbell. Campbell.
I heard Campbell on the radio today. This is his 19th year.
I thought he retired a long time ago.
This is his 19th year. Remember, he was with Baltimore at one time.
No, I remember when he was with Atlanta, like 5 years ago, and he said, "This is my last year."
Yeah.
And
he was with.
Then he went to Miami.
He was with Baltimore when Minter was the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I heard him today. He said this is possibly his last year, but reaching 19, he may go to 20. Right? He may do it. Depends how good they are, I guess.
So they got Calais Campbell, and then they also depend on the recovery of Matabuke, who's recovering from a serious neck injury last year. Edge rushers, they received a massive boost with an addition of elite veteran Trey Hendrickson from the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's a big addition.
He will be combined with exciting young edge rushers Mike Green and Zion Young to form a dangerous rotation. Secondary, the cornerback room is pretty strong. Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, and Awuzie provide a lockdown starting trio with TJ Tampa rotating in as a high upside depth piece. Linebackers remains solid, keyed by Roquan Smith and Kyle Hamilton. So that's about it for Baltimore.
All right, moving on. The next game, the first home game, will be against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yep.
Las Vegas Raiders entered the season undergoing a major rebuild this year. They brought in Clint Kubiak. He was the offensive coordinator with Seattle when they won the Super Bowl last year. He features a dynamic, highly drafted offensive core anchored by tight end Brock Bowers and running back Ashton Jeanty, along with a fiercely contested quarterback battle between Kirk Cousins and rookie Fernando Mendoza. I think Kirk Cousins probably gets the start.
I think he does
And it
too.
just depends on how he does, how many games they lose or win. I think but between then,
I think at that point,
Fernando
Cousins
Mendoza.
still starting. At that point in time.
Yeah, I think for the first 4 or 5 weeks at least.
I think at least, well, we play in week 3, so I think Cousins should still be starting.
Yeah, I think so. I think it,
Unless there's an injury
if they
or
lose,
something.
If they lose 4, 5, 6 games, I think Mendoza goes in.
Unless Kirk
Because
Cousins
working
gets injured or something.
Yeah. The situation in the quarterback room, we just flipped it. It completely flipped from what it was before. It was a view of veteran leadership and youthful potential right now. Key players: Kirk Cousins brings immediate starting experience with a sharp urgency to the Facebook. Rookie Fernando Mendoza serves as a highly anticipated future of the franchise. Offensive skills when tight end, they got Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. They got 2 very good tight ends.
Yeah.
Running back. They brought in Ashton Jeanty last year. He didn't have a great year last year, but the offensive line was not that strong. That kind of hurt him. I think they did some work on the offensive line. We'll talk about that as we get there. Wide receivers, they got Trey Tucker, Jack Besh, who's from this area, and Jalen Naylor. They will be relied on in speed and separation. The offensive line has been a strategic upgrade to build physical, punishing front. They added veteran Kulan Miller, anchored the left side. The interior line boasts a highly promising Jackson Powers Johnson and newly acquired center Tyler Linderbaum. They brought him in from Buffalo, I think it was Buffalo's center. That should make a big difference. The front 7, the defensive front brings intensity and heavy blitzing control under defensive coordinator Rob Leonard. The linebackers core feature incredible athleticism behind Jacoby Dean. And the secondary, the cornerback safety room currently undergoes position battle to solidify cohesive unit. Veterans like Taylon Johnson offer stability there. Also at linebacker, on defensive line is, what's his name? The one that tried to go to Baltimore?
Max Crosby.
Yeah. He's there too. He's playing. They didn't mention him on here, but he's there. He's playing. So the question there is quarterback battle and how the rookies are going to do, and the analysis of the team's upcoming schedule. We have to decide. I don't know. I think it'll be a tough season. They're rebuilding. We'll see what happens in the future for the Raiders. All right, and our fourth game is going to be on a Monday night.
Monday Night Football, celebrating the 25-year anniversary. No. Yeah.
20 years. Huh?
20-year anniversary of the Dome coming.
The Dome coming after Katrina.
2006. If y'all don't know, he was actually at that game.
Mm-hmm.
He watched the Steve Gleason punt block,
And touchdown.
and Saints won that game.
The Dome, it was explosion. It was big. It was big.
It was I've heard a lot of players and stuff say that's the loudest I've ever heard the Dome.
It was loud. It was very loud when it happened, especially when that play happened.
Yeah. So, talking about the Falcons, our division rivals,
They're going to be a better team this year.
they will be a better additions. They added head coach Kevin Stefanski after they fired what's his name? Rasheed Morris.
Rasheed Morris.
Rasheed Morris.
He's the defensive coordinator at. Well, I just seen it this week. He'll come to me in a minute.
Anyway, so going on to offense, the spotlight is still on Michael Penix Jr. What's he going to do? He hasn't done much.
No.
And he's entering his third year. He also is going against veteran additions like Tua Tagovailoa and this guy Trevor Siemian, former Saints guy.
Yeah, he's right. He's there too.
Former Saints guy. Then at running back, still anchored by Bijan Robinson.
He's one of the best in the league. I think.
They added Brian Robinson Jr. and Tyler Goodson. Receivers, Drake London, he just got that new contract. Jahan Dotson they added. Rookie, Zachariah Branch out of Georgia. And tight end Kyle Pitts is still there in the passing game for a tight end. Offensive line, they got a veteran and left tackle of Jake Matthews, while Michael Jarrell still provides depth. Interior, Chris Lindstrom is the elite anchor at right guard, flanked by Matthew Bergeron and Ryan Musial at center. And what should be a solid unit at offensive line. Defensive line. The defensive line was a major focus this offseason, adding Chris Williams, Deshaun Hand, and Mason Smith. However, run defense still remains a slight concern for Atlanta as the team looks for more potency and size up the middle. Edge rusher, they upgraded with some young studs like Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr., who faces an early suspension in the season, and veteran Samson Abukum and Aziz Ojulari, former LSU player.
Yep, the LSU one. Yep.
Brings excellent cap-friendly pressure. Secondary, the cornerback room features a heated battle for starting spots between A.J. Terrell, former Clemson, and Mike Hughes are projected to start outside, and Billy Bowman Jr. handling nickel duties. Safety, the back end is anchored by Jesse Bates, supported by Xavier Watts and DeMarco Helms, and a highly reliable safety group. So that's about it for the roster analysis for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah. And I expect us to win that game because it's going to be the anniversary. And, of course, we handle Atlanta pretty good. They do have some weaknesses.
It's going to be at home.
I think our running game is going to be real good this year. That's going to make a big difference. So,
and our offensive line is pretty good this year as well.
Yeah, they're getting better. And so we'll see. We're a long way to go between now and the season. I think there's 95 days, I think, from today. Something like that. 96
I saw
days.
something like 20 Sundays or something.
Yeah, something like that. So anyway, NFL, I'm looking forward to it this weekend, everybody. The UFL game, the NBA tonight and Saturday, I guess, huh? Maybe
yeah, Saturday.
And Saturday be in San Antonio. The White House fights. Take a look at that, and that's it for today.
If you're confused, and what do?
If you're confused, you can't find anything out, you do what we do. What?
You look it up.
Thanks for watching. Please let everybody know we're here so we can give you the information. I think we do a pretty good job of giving people some recaps on different things that they probably not thinking about.
And some upcoming and information on upcoming events.
Yep. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please share. We'll see you again next Wednesday.
Bye-bye.